So multiple students at UW have woken up to the fact that their student visas have just been revoked, and they are now in the US illegally. This administration is turning students into criminals. This is so beyond fucked. Can you imagine studying in a foreign country and just waking up one day and seeing that your visa has been revoked and that you are now illegal in that country and could face huge fines and also be completely deported and maybe sent to an El Salvadorian prison? What the fuck? UW only found out about this because they just started cross-checking the visas of their international students and found out that some of them have been revoked. And they don't really know what to do about this. These students now risk deportation, and we've seen how deportations have gone. It's not fucking pretty. These are college students who have been approved to study in the United States. How is this at all justifiable? At all. Make it make sense.
Deported because of a speeding ticket. Hundreds of students are getting their visas revoked because of minor violations like speeding tickets. As you know, this Trump administration started canceling student visas looking for students that were involved in political protests. But now they're expanding their net and canceling visas for minor violations. This involves speeding tickets and other traffic violations. These students report getting an email from their school notifying them that their SEVIS and I-20, the form that controls their student visa, is now canceled. What can you do if the government just canceled your visa inside the United States? In many cases, you can try to seek reinstatement. If these were minor violations, you potentially could get back into status. But you have to act fast before you accrue too many days of unlawful presence. If you had any violation as a student, even traffic violation, talk to an immigration lawyer now before they cancel your visa. If you're a student affected, use the link in my bio. I can help you.
The Trump administration is revoking hundreds of international student visas and revoking their student status in SEVIS, which is the Students Exchange Visa Information System, each week. International student advisors haven't even been informed of this. They've only found out because they've logged into these systems and found out that students from primarily Arab and Muslim countries are the ones having their visas revoked en masse. Student university protests have always been the way that we have pushed for real progressive change in this country. And the Free Palestine movement threatens our long-standing horrific relationship with Israel. And we remember that Trump tried to do a Muslim ban his first time in office. ICE is doing this because it wants to arrest as many people as possible, send them to for-profit detention centers either in Louisiana or in El Salvador. If you are an international college student in the United States, just know that your visa status may not be as stable as you think that it is. And for American students who are going to school with international students, it is your duty to protect your community and to de-arrest whenever you can.
So, I am not one to get political at all. And I'm not one to post any political beliefs or anything on social media. But yesterday it came to my attention that at Utah Tech, the university that I go to, there are 9 students that are getting their student visas revoked, some of which were supposed to be graduating in a couple weeks and walking. And one of them is a friend of mine in the film program. I found out about that. She was one of them today. She can't walk now. I was talking with her and she told me seems like the students with Class B misdemeanors are getting their student visas revoked. It was from when she was a freshman because she got caught drinking, underage drinking, something I've never partaken of, but you know, I know college kids do that and underage people do that. But she also told me that there was a guy, a student from like 8 years ago. 8 years ago, he got in trouble for littering. He got a student visa revoked for that and is now getting deported. I don't know what the fuck's going on Obviously, this is an emotional reaction, and I haven't researched into it much at all. But these are people I know, that I've worked with on set. That's one of the best humans I know. And she's a phenomenal editor. She's lovely to be around. And I know the state of Utah, in the film industry specifically, would benefit from her being involved in it. But she can't now. She has to go back to her home country. It's happening across, it's not just Utah Tech, it's happening across the country. I wish this nation wasn't as divided as it was. I wish people respected each other's opinions more, that we were able to find compromise. But no matter on what side of the political line you fall on, no one wants to compromise, which just drives the political divide further, because everyone thinks the other person is absolute garbage and the worst person in the world for believing what they believe. But I think it's absolutely stupid that for people to work so hard to go to school in a foreign country, to learn in a language that's not their first language, to be at the finish line, and then not be allowed to walk, graduate with everyone in their programs that they've spent years with, that they've made friendships with, that they've collaborated with. That's not okay. And I don't know, this video literally isn't going to do anything. I'm just mad and upset that a friend of mine can't walk at graduation because of something she did when she was a freshman, which honestly isn't that big of an issue. People have done a lot worse than get caught drinking underage and still graduate. For all you international students out there that can't graduate now, that can't finish your college studies where you've been spending your time, I am deeply sorry that this is happening. It's not okay. And I love you guys. I wish I could do more. I can't really do anything. I don't know who to go to complain at, but I can post something to the internet and then get chopped to bits in the comment section. You guys deserve better. America deserves better. Love you guys.
I went back to college late in life. I will be graduating the University of Kentucky in May. I start law school in the fall. I got an email at 5 p.m. on Friday from the president of the University of Kentucky, whose name I won't even dignify to mention, which said that several F1 visas at the University of Kentucky had been revoked. This was surprising to me. The act of cowardice required to send that email out at 5 p.m. on Friday, giving no one any time to react, is astounding. But what's worse is, in the email, it says, we are here to support all of our 1,300 international students, and yet they've done nothing to push back. They have 100% capitulated. My understanding is an email went out to the health employees saying that they should comply with ICE, even if they don't have a warrant or a subpoena. The University of Kentucky rolled over faster than I've ever seen anyone roll over. I'm ashamed that this is my college. It is despicable. These students come here, they pay money. The University of Kentucky didn't even have massive protests last year. There was maybe 12 people at a protest. It was incredibly peaceful. Nobody was camping. For the university to do, not just to do nothing, but to capitulate 100% is an act of cowardice that is shameful and embarrassing. Unbelievable to me.
Two students at my school had their visas revoked for no reason and are now being deported. We live in crazy times.
So for those of you who said, oh, he's only going to go after the illegals, well, whether you're too naive or I don't know, look at what he's doing. Specifically targeting the international students. First of all, in my view, you can't pick and choose people for your national policy. That's just very dangerous thing to do. And second of all, and because somebody's protesting some country, you're gonna cancel their visa and deport them. And somebody has some parking ticket, you're gonna cancel their visa. That's just not fair. So unfair. All right. And don't believe in they say, oh, we're gonna welcome educated people. What is educated? Okay, if they have the power to decide what people they like and what people they don't, does that sound familiar? We all learn history. Holocaust didn't happen in the first day of World War II. It had gotten to its most hideous point when Germany started losing. So let that sink in for a minute.
Okay, let's talk about revoking student visas. We know why these kids' visas, these student visas are being revoked, right? We're not stupid. We know the reason why these student visas are being revoked. These kids or students, young adults, are probably having their visas revoked because they probably protested in favor of Palestine last year. You know, everybody wants to say Russia owns us, Russia owns us, Russia owns us. No, it ain't Russia, baby. It's Israel. And I'm not anti-Semitic. I am not against the Jewish people. I am against the Israeli government. Netanyahu's an asshole. Okay? The Israeli and the Jews, they are suffering just as much. But you know what? When you have young Palestinian children and families being killed for no reason, and you're sitting there saying, well, these students protested in favor of Palestine, they promote Hamas, the two are not mutually exclusive. You can have humanity and feel for the Palestinian people who are getting murdered on a daily basis and condemn Hamas, okay? That's the fucking truth, okay? People are standing up for Palestine because of what's happening to the innocents, not for Hamas, not for any of that shit. Supporting Palestine is not supporting Hamas. And these people that are here on student visas are getting their visas revoked. Hold on one second. Sorry about that. I had to do something quick. So, yeah, this bullshit that these visas are getting revoked, these are not criminals. These are not people that caused crimes here. All they did was protest against Israel. And this is bullshit. Stop saying that these students are supporting terrorists because they're not. They're not.
F1 students who have had their service terminated or visa revoked. We need to talk today. We need to have a consultation today. We need to discuss your options. This is an emergency and you need to rush to fix your situation. So I've been heading some conversations about this, and there are a number of things that we have found out about the situation, including the lawfulness of that situation and the availability of reinstatement or suing and other legal actions that you may be able to take in your case. First of all, in many instances, the government had a duty to follow procedures and follow different regulations and laws that they have not done in many cases that I have seen. Of course, this is not specific to everyone's case, so we would need to review and find out if that's the case for each specific individual. However, in all of the cases so far that I have seen, the correct procedures and policies, laws and regulations that are required of the government have not been followed for F1 students. There's also extensive case law out there that says that a violation for criminal matters or other status issues that we're seeing right now that are resulting in the revocations and in the service termination are actually not grounds for being put out of status. So you should not be put out of status. It's merely a termination at this point or a revocation. That means that you must continue to follow your status. Make sure that you're not working more than 20 hours on campus. Make sure you're attending school and make sure that you do all activities that are consistent with your F1 visa status. We have narrowed it down to 2 options, and this may apply to you or it may not apply to you. Again, we just have to look at your case individually. But those options include suing, and I know that many students are not wanting to be viewed as government opposers, or they just feel that that would be extreme. However, this is just letting the government know and signaling them that there is a situation where they have acted unlawfully in your case. Thankfully, the National Immigrant Project did bring a lawsuit last night, so you may actually benefit from that irrespective of whether you sue them or you don't. Option 2 is reinstatement. There are a few pitfalls with reinstatement. However, we have come up with a few good legal arguments that we believe will work. Of course, this is uncharted territory, and this is something that we have to be confident in, knowing what we know and knowing the laws and regulations. So at the moment, we're going to pursue those arguments and are fully prepared to pursue those beyond USCIS if necessary. I cannot be more serious about this. This is an emergency for any F1 student. You need to have a consultation today. If your service has been terminated or if your visa has been revoked, we need to get your legal rights satisfied, back on track, and to help you in case you need to change your status or do some other activity in the United States in the future, because this will impact your future. Call my office today. We're going to treat this as an emergency. We'll get you in as soon as possible, and we'll get back to fixing your status quickly.